Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well. Today I'm going to be doing my weekly wrap up. Now this weekly wrap up is going to be pretty short because earlier this week I did an unboxing video and I also hauled a lot of books that I'd already got this week. So I've only got 2 new books I've got this week to show you, but I'm also going to show you some books that I found when I was rearranging my bookshelves earlier this week. And they're books that I kind of really forgot I had and I want to read now. And I'm also going to show you what I'm reading at the moment. So I'm going to start with the books that I got in the post this week. The first one I got was Who Likes Short Shorts by Pete Saltwell. Now I absolutely love Pete Saltwell. He writes some of the most incredibly funny books and I'm sure you've heard me talk about him before. He wrote the Village Idiot reviews, he's written Dating in the Dark and the sequel to that one as well. And this is Pete's compilation of short stories and I love the cover art of all of his books as well. They're really, really great. Now this was sent to me yesterday, it arrived yesterday. And I've already read all of the short stories in this book because they are short stories, so they're easy to get through. And I have to say that Pete has got such a gift when it comes to short stories. Every single one had something at the end that was just such a... It was almost like you read the story and you were like, okay, this is alright. But then when you got to the end, you were like, this is fantastic, because every single story had like a twist at the end or something that made you just completely gasp at what had happened. And it's just fun. These really are just fantastic stories. My favourite one is called... One Flew Over the Policeman's Bonnet, and I think that was the one that he entered into a competition, if I'm correct in saying that, and I can see why I won because it's just absolutely fantastic. But there's some really, really funny ones in here. There's ones about a Weight Watchers club, there's one about somebody foreign who doesn't speak English, and they are running a cannabis farm, but they don't know they're doing that because they don't know what cannabis is, and that's really funny as well. There's a really funny one about a man who's talking about his pupils in the bar. It's just really, really clever short stories. So yeah, I would definitely recommend reading this, and I think I'm correct in saying that this is free on Kindle. So if you've got a Kindle, go and download this because you are guaranteed a lot of laughs. So thank you so much, Pete, for sending me this, and I will be doing a review of this book very, very soon. And the second book I received, which has literally just arrived, is called Before You Die by Samantha Hayes, and I absolutely adore this cover. Now, Samantha Hayes, last year, she wrote this book, which is called Until You're Mine, and look how beautiful they are, look how well they match, and I'm just so, so happy that the publishers have decided to keep them, along a similar kind of cover design, because I just think they're absolutely beautiful. Now, Before You Die, I haven't actually got much of a clue what it's about, but I know I'm going to love it because it's by Samantha Hayes. But it's taken nearly 2 years for the Warwickshire village of Radcote to put a spate of teenage suicides behind it. Then a young man is killed in a freak motorbike accident and a suicide note is found among his belongings. A second homeless boy takes his own life, this time on the railway tracks. Is history about to repeat itself? Di Lorraine Fisher has just arrived for a relaxing summer break with her sister. Soon she finds herself caught up in the resulting police inquiry, and when her nephew disappears she knows she must act quickly. Are the recent deaths suicide or murder, and is the nightmare beginning again? Love the sound of that, so yeah, really excited to read this, and I just adore the cover so much. I just think it's absolutely beautiful, so thank you so much to Philippa at, I'm going to get this wrong now, I think it's Philippa at, is it Transworld? Well, it's one of the publishing houses under the Random House imprint, so thank you so much, Philippa at Random House. I'm super excited to read this, and yes, I cannot wait, and I will definitely be reviewing this one very soon as well. And the book I'm reading at the moment, I'm actually really loving, and I haven't read all that much of it. I think I'm about just under halfway through, but I haven't had much reading time recently, which is really frustrating, but I am stealing a chapter here and there when I can, and it is a programme by Suzanne Young. Now, if you watched my haul, you would have seen that I hauled this book because it just arrived from the book depository this week, and I started reading it straight away. I absolutely love the premise of this book. It's about a teenage kind of... It's not dystopian in the sense that it's set in a dystopian world, but it's almost kind of a parallel world to the one we live in, and these are American teenagers who depression has become like a worldwide pandemic in under 18s, and a lot of under 18s are committing suicide. But what the programme is trying to do is trying to rehabilitate these teenagers and make them not depressed anymore and stop them from being depressed and turn them into happy teenagers again. But the thing is with the programme is that when you go into the programme, it erases all of your memories. So when you go into the programme depressed and suicidal, you come out and you can't remember any of your friends. And Sloane and her boyfriend James are trying their hardest to act normal and appear, you know, happy on the outside. But Sloane's brother killed himself a couple of months, I think it's about a year ago he killed himself, and so Sloane's still trying to come to terms with that. And basically it's their story where they're trying to stay out of this programme, and because they know that if they go into the programme then they're going to forget each other and they're not going to be able to stay in love with each other, and it's kind of a really awesome story about them trying to kind of stay together and stop the programme from stealing their memories. And I'm, like I said, I'm about about halfway through, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. And I have to say that I was a little bit dubious about starting this at first, because it sounded like it was an idea that would either work really well and be kind of, be executed really well, or it would be a book that kind of didn't live up to it. But at the moment it is really, really living up to the expectations, so I'm hoping it continues to do so. So yeah, if you haven't read this, then I definitely recommend it. It's called The Programme by Suzanne Young, and I'll be definitely reviewing this one as well. And then, like I say, I found a couple of books on my bookcase this week that I forgot I had that I really want to get around to reading, because it's quite frustrating because I don't have much, well, I say I don't have much storage space in my books. I do have a lot of storage space in my books, but the bookcase that's at the bottom of my stairs is double stacked, so you can stack like 2 books on each shelf, like, if that makes sense, like they go further back. So sometimes the books that are behind, I forget which books I've got behind there. So what I try and do is I try and put all the books I've read on the back behind, and then put all the books that I need to read on the front so I can see the books I've got. But sometimes some of them kind of slip through and they get to the back. So I was sorting my bookcase out this week and I found these 4 books which I forgot I had, which I really want to read. So I'm just going to quickly show you them. I'm not going to talk too much about them. But the first one is Dead Lovely by Helen Fitzgerald. Now, I don't really know too much about this book. I picked it up in a charity shop, and I think it's about families and murder and something along those lines. It's kind of like a mystery kind of thriller, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I think the cover's really, really lovely for that as well. The second one that I found on my bookcase is again one that I picked up from a charity shop, and it is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. Now, a lot of people have raved about the film and a lot of people have spoken about the book, and I haven't watched the film or read the book, and I'm not going to watch the film until I've read the book. So I'm going to read the book first and see how much I enjoy it, and then decide whether I want to watch the film or not. This is about zombies, and I'm not quite sure what happens to the zombies, but I know that it's kind of set in zombie-ish world and tells a tale of zombies, so really excited about reading this one. The next one I found I still haven't read, which I'm really annoyed about because I bought this book years ago and I still haven't read it, and it is I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. I'm not a huge fan of the cover, but I mean, it'll do. So I really want to read this, and everybody that I know who has read this book says how much they absolutely love it, so I really want to get around to reading it soon. And then the final book that I found is again a book that I've had for ages but haven't got around to reading, and it's a book that lots and lots of people cite as being one of their favourite books and one of the best books I've ever read, and that is The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. Now, this actually has got the most splendid cover. I really, really like this cover, so I'm really, really wanting to get around to reading this soon. But the problem is that because I've got such a big TBR pile, as you can see, most of these books behind me are still to be read. It's kind of really difficult to work out which order to read books in, so I don't know if I'll get around to any of these books soon, but I'm definitely going to put them towards the top of my pile so that they're not stuck behind the shelves and will never see the light of day again. So yeah, definitely looking forward to giving these ones a go. So, sorry for talking really fast and trying to get through this, but I just wanted to keep this one as short as possible. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any good books this week, if you've read any good books this week, what you're planning on reading this weekend, and if you've read any of those books I've spoken about, or if you've read the programme, let me know, because I really want to kind of find out what you guys think about them. So, thanks for watching the video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!